West Tibet, the roof of the world. In the thin air 6,000 meters high, a vast arid wasteland as far as the eye can see. In this remote corner of western Tibet lie the ruins of a mysterious kingdom. A kingdom whose army was feared by all its neighbors. A kingdom which once dominated trade in gold, silk and spices between India and China. It was a kingdom of fabulous wealth and great religious significance. Scholars argue that without this kingdom, Tibetan Buddhism would have withered and died centuries ago. Yet this spiritual and commercial hub, which prospered for 7 centuries, vanished almost without a trace in 1630. What happened to bring this great civilization to an end? Was it the arrival of the first ever Westerners to visit Tibet? Or was it the intense rivalry between 2 brothers fighting for power? Why was it completely abandoned? And what silent secrets do these decapitated remains tell? To unravel this mystery, a Tibetan historian and an American archaeologist traveled to the far reaches of Tibet. To these 400-year-old ruins, where they will discover the answers to what happened to the extraordinary kingdom of Guge. It dominated a strategic crossroads on the Silk Road between Central Asia and China. A crossroads for the numerous caravans trading gold, silk, wool and spices. Guge was the center of sophisticated art and ideas, a magnet for artisans and intellectuals. It was at the heart of a religious renaissance and home to some of the greatest Buddhist thinkers of its time. Yet having prospered for 7 centuries, this magnificent kingdom disappeared in 1630, leaving only an enigmatic structure, the very last remaining clue to a lost civilization. These are the first ever photographs of the Guge kingdom. They were captured in 1933 by Italian explorer Giuseppe Tucci. In this banquet room, Gyalpo and his queen would have enjoyed many social occasions, entertained by song and dance. Guge's armory held the finest weaponry of the time. Its swordsmiths used sophisticated techniques to craft superior steel alloys, making their swords much sought after. But Guge's wealth and power also attracted the attention of envious neighbors, who launched frequent attacks on the kingdom. Eventually, one such neighbor would discover a weakness to capitalize on, and Guge's fate would be sealed forever. But how could the pages of an old Catholic Bible come to be part of a Tibetan shaman's mask in the far reaches of Guge? In 1624, a Jesuit missionary, Father Antonio Andrade, wrote a book highly popular across Europe. In it, he describes his visit to an amazing country called Tibet. Father Andrade and his companion trekked from their mission in Goa in search of a long-forgotten Christian state called Shambhala. Instead, they discovered Guge. By this time, the story goes, tensions between Gyalpo and his brother were at an all-time high, and they were about to get worse. The king warmly welcomes Andrade. In his book, Andrade writes, "As holy men, the king treated us with great reverence and then explained, somewhat to my surprise, that he wished to understand our faith. This was as welcome as it was unexpected." Not only does Gyalpo proclaim the pair to be his personal guests, he invites them to stay and teach their beliefs, even ordering the building of a chapel. Such behavior would have infuriated the Buddhists at Tsering. They saw the king's actions as a betrayal against Buddhism. It was a move that would not go unanswered. According to stories later recorded by Andrade, what happened next was an uprising against the king that would forever change the course of Guge's history. Seeking to protect his stronghold, the head abbot sends word to his supporters in the neighboring kingdom of Ladakh, 500 kilometers away. Seizing this long-awaited opportunity, the Ladakhis marched across the border of Guge, overcoming each fortress and embattlement in their path, until they reached the capital, Saparang. By this time, Guge's economic and political resources were strained. No reinforcements would be coming, and Saparang would have to face the invaders on its own. But taking Saparang would not be easy. How this final battle began is a matter of some uncertainty. But scholars believe the entrance to the city was stormed by the Ladakhis. Breaking through the city gates, the Ladakhis overcame Guge's resistance and took control of the lower part of the citadel. But as they chased the retreating soldiers and citizens of Guge up the passageways and tunnels to its summit, the Ladakhis found themselves sitting ducks. As they snaked towards the summit, these passageways narrowed. The Ladakhis had to pass through them almost single file, making them easy targets for Guge's forces. After taking heavy losses, the Ladakhis retreated to the lower ramparts to regroup.